Up as we join your commentators at the Knott Building, Andy Richardson and Jim Weich.
The all-important leg for this round-robin clash between former world champion Thorston Hohmann and this year's world championship runner-up Kuo Cheng. Hohmann, 1,000-to-1 outsider when he won the title back in 2003. Well, he's not an outsider in any event he plays in anymore. He's one of the bankers. And that's what Kuo Cheng has to contend with. It's 10 racks to be played in the 888.com Whirlpool League. And that is not the way that Kuo wanted to start out this one. Straight into the side pocket with that cue ball. Andy, he didn't break well in his first match. He lost. And is this going to be an indication of how he's going to do here against Hohmann?
We don't know for the moment, but he really needs to pay attention with that cue ball. Slaughterous break. But he arcs straight into the middle. Has to be classed as an unforced error. Looks like he's playing the combination.
Thorston won his first match, a 7-3 victory over Vilmos Fuldez. Whereas Kuo Cheng went down to defeat by that same scoreline, but to the very informed Francisco Bustamante, the holder of this event, or this title. And Hohmann with a beautiful angle on the one. You can bring that cue ball right down the top of the table as we look for the two.
Struck it well. Landed slightly low on the two.
You and I had a quick chat before the players were introduced, and we both agreed that Hohmann, on current form, even though he's been traveling all over the world, probably has to be considered a slight favorite in this match.
That's right, Jim. He's played a shot there where he's landed on the three, but he's made it a little bit difficult for himself. He had to run through there, two rails. He's back in good shape. Long seven into the corner. Bottom rail. Spins out to the side rail. He just doesn't really want to be straight on this ball.
That's one thing these top players all strive for, is that little bit of angle. Gives them the positional values. Keeps all their options open.
Struck that very well. Drew all the way back down the table. Back off the bottom rail. Great position on the 9 ball.
And it's Thorston Hohmann that takes the opening rack of 10 scheduled here from Warsaw. And what's more is he'll have the break in rack number 2 with a chance to increase that lead even further. Hohmann really is the full package in terms of 9 ball now. He's getting better and better with each event. Making his home now in Florida.
Back two. Thorston Hohmann to
and
break.
Only 26 years of age. Feels like he's been around for so long. He's still a youngster. Kuo, 27 years. We view him as a relative newcomer on the world scene. And he's a year older than Hohmann. A difficult 2 for Thorston, even though he got 2 balls off the break. But if he slots this into the pocket, and it's going to be the bottom left corner, you can see the 3-4 on offer. Just wants to settle himself here.
This really is a big match for both players. I'm sure they'll both be aware of the result of the last match. Francisco Bustamante absolutely on fire. Both players here are going to need to hit a top gear.
But every one of the 6 that make up the field in this year's event fully capable of finding that gear.
Five into the middle. Just, well, he stunned the ball there, the choice. 7 over the middle. Easy 8 in the corner. 9 to the same corner if he wants to play it that way.
Noticeable too, Andy, the speed with which Hohmann is playing.
Very deliberate. Quicken the pace a little. Sign of confidence.
Takes the 9 and establishes a 2-0 lead over Kuo. It'll be Kuo to break in rack number 3, already under pressure. A break from Kuo in the opening rack. Secured the second
Rack
in
3,
lightning fashion.
Cheng to break.
And just like that, he's got his opponent playing from the back end. 2-0 the deficit as Kuo breaks in rack 3.
Well, he hammered that break.
And it doesn't look too bad, Andy. He's got a great look at the 2.
That's right. He's on the 2. Could have been easy with the red 3. Very close to the side rail. But especially with this alternate break format, you need to make your break games count.
Looks here like he just wants to float this back over the right-hand side of the table. Just wants to be absolutely certain in his mind exactly how to go from the 2 to the 3 and which pocket he wants to attack that 3. And his choices, 2 corners.
3 may be too near the middle there to land high. But if he lands low, i.e. the end of the table where the orange 5 is, for once he'd like to be fairly straight on this ball. It's a tough ask to take in the top corner. We normally talk about angles. Let's see which way he's going to play it. He's trying to get straight. Well, he's caught the 5.
I think that was always going to be cause for concern. That was the reason he even considered playing the 3 into the top right corner. But he didn't strike that 2 with any conviction. And he's fortunate the 5 didn't come back to snooker him.
This ball's still on. He's played that well. But the cue ball's drifting. Once again, traffic.
I think you'd be quite relieved to even have a shot at the 4. Guaranteed this was not his intended pocket, and that assuming the 4 passes the 9 to the bottom right corner. If it doesn't, then he's banking this. And it doesn't.
That was some way off. Now.
Well, definitely doesn't go past the 9 now as we see the missed bank attempt from Kuo. As you noted, Andy, that never threatened the corner pocket. So a 4-9 combination for Thorston Hohmann to establish a 3-0 advantage. End of swipe 2 of Kuo Po Cheng's breaks.
Just needs to make absolutely sure of the angle here.
He's had 2 looks at it. He's placed that imaginary pocket in the cushion, and that's where he's playing the 4. And dead into the heart of the pocket, the 9 disappears. The 2003 world champion off to a flyer here in Warsaw, 3-0 over Kuo Po Cheng. Thorston Hohmann, obviously that world title says it all. Once you've won that, you know you're capable of winning anything, but he's got quite an impressive bio. He shifted home from Germany to Florida, spends a lot of time on American soil now, playing in UPA Tour events over there, and honing his skills with the top American players. But he's a force in every event he enters. And in this particular one, he certainly wants to join Francisco Bustamante in the ranks of the undefeated. Still in round-robin play, lots to be said before the 4 semifinalists are determined. Well, for the few times we've seen a dry break. But he's left Kuo with nothing but a push out on the 1.
I think he'll be relieved there. One of the rare dry breaks we've had the last couple of matches. He may be looking at a push out here.
You've got to be careful. He doesn't want to leave Hohmann with anything of an aggressive nature, even in the safety department. He's having a look at the bottom cushion right now, Andy, and if he feathers the cue ball down there, he's going to be leaving Thorston with a chance to hide that cue ball behind those 2 colors you see. So he does not want to leave a full ball contact on this one. Push-outs are tough.
Yeah, this was a hard push out to play.
I think Hohmann will be taking this shot.
Couldn't really see what he could do there, nothing more.
Well, I would have tried to play the 9 where the cue ball went over to the right-hand side and left half of the 1. This way. And again, assuming Thorston can get through to the right-hand side of that 1. If he can, he's got a couple safety options, and it certainly looks like he can. Use that 8 and the 2 as cover. And he has brought Kuo out of his chair. I feel that's a mistake. Time will tell. But Kuo is going to be looking to hide that cue ball behind the 8 and the 2.
He's there.
I can only think the reason that Hohmann didn't elect to play that was that the kick might be too easy, the escape too easy. But certainly, he had a lot of room for error in the safety department. But Kuo needs a mistake from Hohmann. Already 3-0 in Hohmann's favor with the alternating break format. That is a comfortable lead. And Andy, it looks like he's got a very easy kick at this 1, and a kick that he'll be able to play with a lot of control.
Yeah, that's if he can't see the edge of this 1, possibly.
Well, if he can see the
It's
edge
a funny
of
angle
it,
from here.
the whole equation changes drastically.
Undecided. Well, you could see.
Well, I mean, he took that long playing the shot. There was no way I thought he could see the 1 full. Or possibly he even jumped over the edge of the 8. We'll never know. Maybe we'll ask him after. But Hohmann, with a great bank shot, has given himself the chance to snatch rack 4.
Well, he's missed a 2 in the middle.
He's playing a lot slower than he was when he kicked this match off. Played at a very quick pace, with a lot of authority, a lot of confidence, and all of a sudden, he seems to have grabbed the reins.
Well, obviously the 2 into the corner. But he needs good shape on this red 3 ball. And this will get him right back into this match. Needs it to slow down.
A very tricky 3. It was a good long 2. But he's going to have to pull another rabbit out right here. He struggled in his first match. Ended up losing that one to Bustamante, as we noted. But he doesn't want to go 0-2 in his first 2 matches here, making his debut in the Whirlpool League.
And this must be one of the longest racks we've seen in this tournament so far. Very cagey.
Well, I think both players understand the significance of this match. Hohmann would join Francisco Bustamante top of the table 2 wins with 2 played, and Kuo would join Alex Lely at the bottom end of that table. 0 for 2. Big shot here on the 3. Just goes. Well, played it into the side pocket, and would you believe it? Kuo Po Cheng has to feel like he took the wrong flight from Chinese Taipei over to Warsaw. Great shot. Cannon the 5, and anywhere on the playing surface would have sufficed.
That was a superb effort. And just at the moment, things not going right for Kuo. Took a big shot on there. Could never, ever expect to land in that corner pocket with a cue ball.
The one thing about it, the cue ball was going to be racing around the angles. You never tempt fate, not in this game. I've said it so many times. If you can avoid contact with any colors, you just play them as they lie. Hohmann with a great opportunity to go 4-0 clear. And with the alternating break format, an enviable lead, to be sure.
Forces the 8 through into the corner. Back off 2 rails. And he's got a relatively straightforward 9 ball down the rail. For a convincing lead.
And it is convincing and confirmed. 4-0 here in Warsaw. Thorston Hohmann in control. Could argue the fact that Thorston Hohmann comes into each and every event he plays in very well prepared. On the practice table and mentally.
I think the key word there is mentally.
Rack 5.
All these players
Cheng to break.
prepare
Trailing
on the
4
practice
racks to 0.
table, but it's the frame of mind. Absolute self-belief.
Rack number 5. Kuo breaks off successfully. And he's got a great look at the 1. Not going to be straightforward, though, from the 1 to the 2. But he parked Whitey in the middle of the table that time. And enjoyed success. So a good shot from the 1 to the 2. The order of the day.
And does the 2 pass the 7?
He's having a look at it right now, Andy. I don't think it does. But he's got plenty of angle on this one. Can try and get that cue ball closer to that 2. Give himself a choice of pockets.
Just double checking to see if it passes. Could play this into the middle pocket if he chose to.
You just had a look there, and it showed you that the 2 would probably go if it didn't have to be played at any speed.
And there he slid off the bottom rail. I have a feeling he was trying to hold that ball.
Kuo Po Cheng, runner-up in this year's World Championship. He was a beaten semi-finalist last year in Taipei. Easily one of the most consistent players over the last couple of years in the biggest event on the pool playing calendar, and that showed a very deft touch. Thin edge of the 2 to leave Hohmann with what looks like a full ball snooker and nothing more than a kick at this 2.
Yeah, looks like he's fully snookered. Look at kicking off the side rail. Catching the left hand back side, if you like, of the 2 as we look at it. Hoping to draw the cue ball back to the rail, the end of the table where the 9 is. But the last time we said that, it looked like he jumped over the edge and he banked it.
Getting about 3/4 of that 2 ball will let that white ball float down in behind the 9 and the 8 and bank that 2 up towards that right-hand side cushion. That's the ideal plan. It doesn't always go as planned.
He's made it.
Not a lot going wrong for Hohmann right now. He even had that ball sat up. You could see the cue ball was behind cover. And I think Kuo would far rather having had a chance to get out of his chair, even though the 2 did disappear and leave Hohmann with a chance at the 3. A lot easier looking at a long 3 like this when you're 4-0 in front.
It certainly is. Not easy. But he was looking at safety there. That's so often happens in this game. Little bit of luck. The ball dropped. He's still at the table. Played it well. Dead weight. Didn't try to do anything fancy with the cue ball. Just gave himself a shot at the 4.
And played it in a manner that displayed a very steady nerve as well. Slow rolling it. If nerves are ever going to be exposed, it's usually when a player has to slow roll a ball.
Easy 7 into the corner. Spins round 2 angles. 2 rails out for the 8. And the work's being done in this rack.
5-0 on the cards. And that's the lead that Thorston Hohmann now enjoys over Kuo Cheng. A very just result, as Hohmann has been in complete control from the outset. And Kuo with it all to do here in Warsaw. And the Biog on Kuo Cheng. He's been to the business stage of the last 2 World Championships. Lost to the eventual loser both times. He'd love to add the 888.com Whirlpool League Championship to that resume. Gifted young player, 27 years of age. If I told you he was 15, you probably wouldn't argue.
Rack 6, Thorston Hohmann to break. Leading 5 racks to 0.
Thorston Hohmann with a 5-0 scoreline. A surprise to many that know how strong Chinese Taipei players are in the world of 9-ball right now. They claim the World Championship. They claim the world medal, world gold medal. And they have been a dominant force in Whirlpool over the last couple of years. I guess someone forgot to tell Thorston Hohmann. Terrific break. And a look at the 1. Already 5-0 in front. 1 point secured. Now he's got his eyes on 2.
Good 1 into the corner. Ran round 2 rails. Out for the 3. And that was a good break once again. Controlled. And there are no obvious obstacles in this game. Already on 5 games. 5 racks to zip. Well, he's on it. But it's a bit tougher than it should have been.
He's looked a little more measured in his approach right now than when he started this match out. Looked like he was going to fly at everything. From the Tony Drago school of pool. But he has slowed it down and enjoying the same measure of success.
This is the shot. Just drift out from the side. Well, it's in, but it wiped his feet.
In fairness, Andy, he just doesn't look like missing right now.
No, he doesn't.
I think he had his sights firmly set on this 6th rack, and he wasn't going to rest until he secured it.
Quicken the pace slightly.
Nine down, and Thorston Hohmann guarantees himself, and the clenched fist says it all. He knows he secures the maximum 2 points from this one. And he will join Francisco Bustamante as the only 2 undefeated. "26 years of age. He is committed full-time now to playing pool. Spent his time in the German army. Won the world championship as a long shot. Won the BCA Open
Rack 7, Popo Chang to break.
over the last few
26
months.
racks to nil.
Defeated Johnny Archer in the final there in a whitewash. So Hohmann is without a doubt one of the best players on the planet. And what would it mean to secure the World Pool League Championship? Good break off from Kuo there. Playing now just to secure some rack wins on his side of the score sheet, hoping that they may come into play. Well, actually hoping they'd never come into play. But you never know. If players are tied at the end of the round robin stages, they look at racks won and lost to differentiate between who goes through to make up the last 4.
Yes, and especially after the last match, with the 9-1 victory, Drago also in trouble. Kuo really needs these racks. Who could have predicted this score? 6-0 down.
And he's just overran ideal position on the 2. And it doesn't look like the 2 banks past the 8 into the opposite side pocket, so this is going to be nothing more than containment. And he's played that very nicely. I don't know how well Thorston jumps, but if he's got a jump cue in his bag, could be making its first appearance. But watch this again. Just feathers that cue ball with loads of right-hand spin, allowing it to stop right in behind the obstructing colors. And here comes the jump cue for Hohmann. He's just got to get over the edge of the 7. This is going to have to go airborne because he's got to clear the 7 and the 3. Not easy, Andy.
No, and he's close up to that rail. I think he can still see the point on the white he'd like to strike, but it makes it that bit tougher.
Long distance jump shot here. No problem for the hitman. Clicking on all cylinders here in Warsaw. And there's one for the highlight reel. Cleared the 3 by some distance. And never mind hitting the 2. He knocked it in.
Great shot. Deserved a better lie on the 3. Path to the pocket obscured by the green 6.
Looks like a very disenchanted Kuo in his seat. Already 6-0.
Do you keep the pressure on and play safe? Or do you look at maybe 3 on to 6?
Well, I think 6-0 in front may dictate his selection. And there you go.
Great shot.
Bank on the 3. Didn't quite draw the cue ball as intended for the 4. But I was about to say, when you're 6-0 in front and you've already secured the 2 points, it's a lot easier to attack from a position that you know would be very risky if you missed it.
Can take the 4 into this corner. Knows that he's coming back across. The green 6. Very close to the corner pocket. Opposite side. Now he can just drift out. Right-hand English on the cue ball.
Thorston plays all games on a pool table well. He's just given you an example of how well he plays bank shots. He loves playing straight pool. We already know what he can do playing 9-ball. And every one of these games, just a further testament to the ability this young player possesses.
He's just landed the wrong side of the 8 there. Just deciding which way to go. Does he try and run up table and back down again?
Well, that would mean thumping that 8 into the side pocket, and always a danger of it jumping back onto the table.
I think he's going to try and spin it. Watch the middle. Good shot.
Force that one into the left-hand side of that middle. Created an angle that wasn't naturally there, and set. Memorable one has Kuo's. Hohmann parks the white into the middle, and it's kicked. A long distance shot on the 1 available.
The natural path of the cue ball. Looks as if it's running into another ball. If he takes it into the corner, he'll do well to not collide with that 4.
He's assured himself to be top of the tables with Bustamante, though.
He's going to stun it out wide. Well, he's missed it. Made it a lot more difficult, that shot.
And have a look at how this one has ended up.
Oh.
If Kuo's shoulders weren't sagging when he came out of the chair, they certainly are now. Cruel, really, when everything has gone the way of your opponent, and even when you get a miss, the very few that have come from Thorston Hohmann, this is what greets you.
Foul shot. Ball in
It can
hand.
be a cruel game, Mr. Kuo. And I don't think we have to tell you that. Ball in hand for Hohmann. And the only problem that confronts him, as far as I can tell, Andy, is the 5 ball.
Yes, it's close to the green 6.
The orange 5 on the left-hand side. That'll be the ball that will be the key to either success for Hohmann or an opportunity again for Kuo. And he's going to leave himself low on the pink 4. Ideally, that's what he's looking at right now. He's already given himself the 2. And where he wants to leave himself in playing the 3 to attack that pink 4, because that'll be the angle that will afford him position to the 5. So this is really the big shot.
And is he straight on this 3? Certainly more difficult if he is.
Well, he's digging into the cue ball, so has to be very straight. Now he's overdrawn this. Intended the 4 into the bottom left corner, but leaving himself straight on that 3 meant that that one had to be struck perfectly. Now can't possibly get to the 5.
Yeah, he played the safe. Doesn't want to catch the 5. But he may have done enough.
Great shot from Hohmann. Keeping the vice firmly tightened on Kuo. Another look at it. Just feathers the 5, but not enough to change the path of the cue ball.
Couldn't do a lot there.
I was talking to Robert, Kuo's road manager, and he was saying that they're now just establishing a foundation for Kuo to start playing in some events in America.
Hohmann there was trying to get the cue ball under that bottom rail. But it's still a good save.
There's Robert. That's the gentleman I was just alluding to. Looks after Kuo Cheng when he's on the road applying his trade. Great shot there. Robert will be happier about that one, even though he won't be too thrilled with the scoreline. And now that 5-6 that for the moment appear to be in jail, the top of your picture, coming to the aid of Thorston Hohmann. But still, the last thing Thorston wants to do is give cue ball in hand to Kuo. So a two-cushion escape, the order of the day. Just around the back side of the 9.
Wants to hit this 4 full if he can.
Well, he's given Kuo the chance here. He's got an angle on this, Andy. Play the 4 into the corner pocket, and the natural path of the cue ball goes right into the 5.
Yeah, he's got to take this on.
Well, it's 7-0. What have you got to lose? Beautifully played. With control. Never get a better chance to win a rack than this chance right now. Can't be easy knowing the best scoreline you can leave the table with is 7-3 in your opponent's favor. But he's got to try and keep his knuckle down and play every rack as though it's a deciding one.
These last few racks could still come into play. They all count at the moment.
9 down, and he gets off the snide. Kuo Cheng, 7-1. He trails Thorston Hohmann. The match gone, but he's playing for respectability here. In round robin action, coming to you here from Warsaw, Poland.
Kuo Cheng to break.
Host city
Winning
for
one
the
rack to
888.com Whirlpool League Championships. And Kuo, just about as he started this match out, almost saw that cue ball go straight into the side pocket. Bit of a mishit, Andy, and he won't be happy with it. Wonder if he's erring too much on the side of power and not enough on control.
I think that's a valid point when you've looked at the other matches, the other players.
So you can see this one. Unless he can see enough to bank it, he won't be attacking. But if he can, he will. And did. And just like that, it's a rack-winning opportunity. With one great shot. Kuo's probably wondering, why didn't I start the match out like this?
Simple 4 into the corner. He can hold the cue ball if he chooses. Elects to draw back slightly. Leaves a slight angle on the orange 5. And that one good bank shot. It's given him prime position. And what should now be an easy run out.
And if nothing else, Andy, he's given everyone here in attendance at the NOT building what he is capable of. And it won't do his confidence any harm to clear up here and win the last rack, even though it goes to the scorer as a 7-3 loss. He'll have secured the last 3 racks in the match and will put him in good stead as the round-robin stages continue. 7-2 in favor of Thorston Hohmann. And Kuo knows that it'll be Hohmann to break in the last rack of the match. few
Hohmann to break.
supporters here for all players. We've noticed a lot of Filipino fans have come to support Bustamante. As Hohmann breaks in rack number 10. Round robin action here coming to you from Warsaw. A nice controlled break from Hohmann. The wing ball and the one ball depart the playing surface. And it looks like he's got a nice clear look at the two.
Just needs to run this two in. Try and find an angle on the pink 4 to get to the orange 5, and he's played that well. He's played well in this match, Jim.
Solid. He's made very few mistakes. And when he has missed the odd shot, he's gotten away with it. Sometimes pool can be like that. If you play the right shot, even if it doesn't come away as planned, the simple fact that you give yourself more options percentage-wise, the pool gods will smile on you. But Hohmann's all business. When he's at the table, you see him away from the table, he's easy to smile, very likable. At the table, emotionless, stoic. Something that's become very familiar with all the German players, Ralf Souquet, Ortmann, Thomas Engert, just to name a few terrific players, and you never see any emotion from any of them.
I think you may see a bit when he wins this game. Great result for him.
This 9 for an 8-2 pounding of Kuo Po Cheng. And with it, stays among the ranks of the undefeated here in Warsaw. Thorston Hohmann joins Francisco Bustamante, the two undefeated players of the 6.
That's the end of the second session. It went really well for two of the pre-event favourites. Emphatic wins for Bustamante and Hohmann, a comeback from the Magic Magyar. That means that Bustamante leads Hohmann, but only on racks 1. Lely and Kuo with a lot to do to catch up in this year's 888.com Whirlpool League. Join us again for more world-class action from Warsaw.